questions. This is going to be the kickoff of the non-esports section of the interview because I feel like, okay, first off, can you talk about Georgia Melee anime?
Oh god. That's the first thing. Georgia Melee anime is just... Okay, so Georgia Melee is like... I don't even know how to explain. I think Georgia Melee is one of the most weird and unique scenes in just Melee in general. And we are also the biggest fucking weebs ever. Not like... It's weird, like... Okay, so in any region you have people who are into anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with Georgia Melee, even the people who aren't into anime are like sucked into watching anime or talking about anime. Like, I'm not kidding. There are people who had never seen anime ever before talked about it, and literally like a year or two after being in Georgia Melee, they're like the most into it of anyone there. It's like absolutely contagious. So Georgia Melee anime is the Facebook group where there's all the shit posting and stuff that everyone wants Georgia Melee to be.
Brian is asking in the chat, what's your favorite Gacha Mucci video?
I actually don't know them.
You don't have one?
Yeah, I don't like know the videos at all. I'm like the step below all the meme levels. Like, I experienced the meme. This is what I'm talking about, see? So we have people like Brian Buckley or Sleepy who are like, you know, they're on that super troll meme stuff, and then like everyone else just gets it like through influence or like secondhand.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know anything about it, but like I've seen that one video that's exists.
Georgia Melee anime is it's really interesting.
Someone's asking a question, I think.
Someone asked the question is, I loved your Falco. Will you ever consider picking him up again? You were so creative with him, and you were optimizing him hard.
First, thanks for loving my Falco. That's awesome. I like my Falco too, but I'm sort of at the point where I really want to play Fox unless my hands start hurting.
Mm-hmm.
My hands start hurting, there's like a 50% chance I'll main Falco, 50% chance I'll main Sheik.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sammy, are you watching any of the Spring 2016 anime? And if so, what's your favorite anime this season?
Dude, I am not watching any anime because I don't usually watch anime, but what's definitely going to happen is it's going to be like a month or two from now, all my friends are going to get out of school and we're going to be hanging out, and they're going to be like, hey, there's this cool anime that came out, and then we're going to be drunk and they're going to put the anime on and I'm going to deal with it. And then if I like it, I'm going to go home and watch it. But I never like go out of my way. It's more like I said, it's all like secondhand influence.
All right. I have a question for you. What is your favorite tournament experience? Like, there's a lot of goofy stuff that happens, you know, after hours in hotel rooms, things like that. Probably Sleepy K influenced. But what is your favorite tournament experience?
Man, I don't even know. I'd really have to think about that one. I can easily answer my favorite eSports tournament experience. Dude, Five Gods was so sick.
Mm-hmm.
But...
just like a crazy story.
Yeah, I will think about it and get back to you if I can think of one.
Alright. We have another...
Last year has been way too serious for me, because all I've been doing is like traveling and focusing on competing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm missing out on like a lot of the fun that I used to have at tournaments, because like, you know, everyone wants to hang out, have fun afterwards. I'm like, I'm gonna go sleep because I have tournament tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm sure there was stuff from before 2015. I just have to think back that far.
All right, another serious question. Now that you're maining Fox, what's your practice regimen like? You know, you're worried about your hands, and you can't practice Texaco like crazy hard. I mean, because we've seen like the fate that kind of Hacks went through from the excessive practice. Yeah.
So this sucks, but my training regimen is straight up, I don't practice because I have to choose between playing with people and practicing, and I can't do both because it'll be too much for my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, I literally just do not practice Melee. I just never practice ever. It's just what I have to do. And that sucks because with Sheik, I did practice, and that helped a lot. So I'm pretty much going to have to get good without being able to practice on my own time.
Mm-hmm. And do you do anything else kind of outside of playing Smash, like by not playing, but doing things to kind of like help your hands? Okay. Are you taking any active measures?
What I've been doing lately is doing stretches, which have helped a lot. Like, I did not think they would help that much, but I've been doing them, and it's been incredible. And then I run warm water on my arms, like my forearms especially. It helps relax the muscles a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Otherwise, I've been taking lots of breaks. I do not let myself play Smash every day. I just, like today, for example, especially since I was going to do this interview anyway, I was like, no, I'm just not going to go play Smash today. Minimum 2 days a week, I'm not playing at all. Um, is there anything else I've been doing? Those are the major ones.
Hmm.
But I'm definitely like still looking into more things. Some people have told me to take supplements. I've just had various suggestions, and I'm still looking into what I want to do besides what I've been doing for my hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see if anyone else in the chat has any questions. What is your favorite food?
Ooh, what's my favorite food? Dude, anything noodles related, just like all noodles, pasta, Asian noodle. Like it doesn't matter what type of noodles. Just all types of noodles are my favorite food. I love pho. I love like udon. I love fettuccine. Just all of that.
Hmm. Um, Damien is wondering when's Marvel?
When's Marvel, dude? I played Marvel once, like maybe 2 months ago, and that was the first time I had played in maybe like a year. So
Hmm.
I really don't play often, but I still absolutely love the game. I think it's a really good game, actually. Like everyone just sort of memes about Marvel and hears like all the crazy shit in it, but it's actually a very similar game to Melee and how neutral is played. I really like it, but I don't think I'll play Marvel as long as I'm playing Melee seriously. It's just too much to do, you know.
Hmm. Someone's asking, do you think HBox is currently the best? Slash, who do you think will beat him at Smash Summit 2?
HBox is the best, and nobody will beat him at Summit 2. It's,
um,
that's
what
all.
is your favorite Duna?
Ooh, my favorite Duna. I'm gonna have to say the gold Duna I won for tipped off. Like I have to say that, right? That one's mine, and I won it through my hard work. So yeah, winning the gold Duna tipped off. That one's got to be my favorite.
Hmm. Melty Blood just came out on Steam. I heard you used to play it. Are you gonna go back and play it for fun?
Oh, dude. If Lewis makes me, so Lewis is like the best multiplayer player NA for
Uh
sure.
huh.
Probably in the Western Hemisphere in general. And he worked on SD Remix with me, and he's a good friend of mine. So if he makes me play it, then I will absolutely play it with him. If he doesn't make me play it, then I'll probably just focus on Melee. But I
You
do like the game. It's pretty cool.
you mentioned working on SD Remix. Were you part of?
Yeah, so I didn't like design the original build or do any of the coding, but
Hmm.
pretty much after the original build came out, which is what like Ripple mostly worked on, Lewis like took the reins and did like almost entirely all the balancing and the move changes and stuff at that point.
Hmm.
And we went to the same school, so pretty much what we'd do is like every week we'd hang out a couple times, and we'd message about like what changes to make, etc. So I've probably done the balance changes for maybe half the cast.
And do you think that by doing, like, thinking about SD Melee, SD Remix on that level, like, kind of changed your perception of Melee? Because like you're thinking about like the flaws and perfections of other characters, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it changed it since I already thought about Melee that way, but it does like sort of get your like creative thinking going. It forces you to
Hmm.
think about those things. Like it just forces you to think critically for sure, and it definitely helped me think about like character strengths and weaknesses and what's good and what's bad.
Hmm.
Like one thing most people probably don't realize is like how important aerial mobility is. Like sometimes just the simplest changes to characters change them so much. So one of the biggest changes that Lewis loves is like he made like Kirby or like Game and Watch. A lot of low tiers Zelda have like way more aerial mobility than they did before because their aerial mobility is like laughable currently,
Hmm.
and it's just incredible how much it changes the character. Like if Kirby had like look at Kirby versus Jigglypuff, right? Like that's a perfect example.
And speaking of Zelda, when is Upka gonna become S tier in Georgia?
Oh my god, dude! If as soon as he like comes to tournaments consistently and performs, I guess, because like so the tier list we don't have one right now, but I think the idea with for the tier list was like it wasn't tournament results, but it's like if you sort of play these guys in friendlies and you can do well consistently with people in the same tier, right?
Hmm.
But Orange like or Upka doesn't like live in Atlanta, so he doesn't get to play with anyone, so we don't really have a basis for comparison.
Yeah, he's kind of in that same Savannah struggle you had growing
Yeah,
up.
I mean, he's in the Savannah struggle.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like Carter, Brandon, and Orange, just those three.
Hmm.
They just do their thing.
Pick two low tiers that become as entertaining and as good to watch as Fox, Falco, Mark, Sheik, that are on like the lower end of the tier list. Which two characters would you choose?
To become
Top
like
tiers.
good and entertaining. Ooh, that's a good one. Mewtwo, for
Mhm.
sure. I think Mewtwo's an awesome character. He's just like not good. And Roy would be boring because it would just be like, yeah, nothing would be that different. Maybe Ness. I like Mewtwo and Ness.
Hmm.
Those are two characters that, like, if all their tools work, they would be like really cool characters to watch.
Do you enjoy playing HBox's Nest now that he lives in Georgia?
Oh, dude. So I don't actually play with HBox ever, but the one time I did get to play his Ness a lot was actually at a Florida tournament, and I played DK versus Ness with him for a long time, and that was one of the most like fun experiences I've had playing Hungry Box ever, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I actually think his Ness is fucking sick, and playing DK Ness was so fun. It also gave me a lot of insight into him as a player when it wasn't just stupid low tier battles. Like, I really learned a lot about him from playing his Ness.
And I'm curious, was playing his Puff kind of now that he lives in Georgia in like Georgia locals and things like that, was that part of a reason why you switched off Falco?
Oh yeah, dude, that like definitely helped a little. Where I was like, so what it is I think like Falco or Sheik or whoever can beat Puff and beat Hungry Box,
Mm-hmm.
but he's so much better at the matchup than me that like not only am I having to overcome a player difference in skill, but I'm also having to overcome a matchup experience gap. And I can't make up that gap because he's the only Puff I can practice with, right?
Yeah.
So even if Falco beats Puff, let's say, like, how am I going to get good enough at the matchup to beat Hungry Beast? That's just such a ridiculous struggle. While on the other hand, if I play Fox, who like has a much easier time beating Hungry Puff, then like it becomes way easier to beat Hungry Box just because like I can focus more on outplaying him as a player, and I'm already good at Fox Puff from playing it for years, while like Falco and Sheik aren't characters I've played against Puff for years. So I have like 10 years of Fox Puff experience. I have like half a year of Falco Puff experience. It's not very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just too much extra work.
I see. And I'm guessing the Puff practice you had was like soft, right?
So I've had a bit of Puff practice. I've played soft in tournaments a lot. He's my most like tournament Puff practice. But in friendlies, I played with Carter, who's in the chat, Kamikaze Caddy. I played with his Puff in friendlies a lot. It's one of those things that you gain experience over the years. Like, I travel to a major, I play like a different Puff every time. But yeah, soft is all my tournament experience, and that's been really helpful. Like, I've not lost to a Puff in forever besides Hungry Box when I played Fox.
All right, I'm gonna take a few more questions. What is your favorite anime?
My favorite anime? There are a couple options, but I'd probably say that I saw a long time ago. I like an anime called Hanasaku Iroha that was really good, and more recently there's an anime called Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso, which was sort of about like it was like a romance anime with like classical music stuff, and I like that one a lot too.
All right. I had a question, but I just forgot it. Does anyone in the chat have a question? Let's see.
What is
Someone asked you, what is your favorite Pokemon?
my favorite Pokemon? I actually played Pokemon competitively, so my answers are really biased by competitive Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite Pokemon might be Gengar, or maybe no, it's probably Gengar. Yeah, I'd say just Gengar.
All right. And I guess for our last question is, do you have a waifu? And if so, who is your waifu?
No, I don't think there's any like anime character I've like super like been attached to or like.
If you had to choose one, though, like you had to have a waifu.
I have to choose one. Oh my god. I really don't know. Like I said, I don't actually watch that much anime. Even though it's like this always happens with Sleepy, where he'll like we'll be talking at like lunch or something or dinner, and be like, "Yeah, you're a huge weeb," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I've like not watched nearly as much anime as like anyone here, and it's like all through association. Then I call Sleepy a weeb, and he like makes Johns about why he's not a weeb. It's actually just like a great thing that happens in Georgia Melee.
I see.
Dude, forced to have a waifu feels good.
Is Sleepy not your waifu though?
Dang, Sleepy is a waifu.
Yeah, is he not your waifu?
Uh-oh.
How much? Actually, I'm curious. How much of like a factor has Sleepy been in your melee experience? Because he's one of like the better, like higher player level players in Georgia, and he also kind of has a wide variety of characters.
Back in like 2010, 2011, we played a lot when I first moved here. So 2010, 2011, he was a big help. He was like the best player I got to play really.
Mm-hmm.
And then lately, now that Smash is becoming big again, we started playing again. That's been cool too. But I really say like the biggest time like playing Sleepy was like affected my melee career was 2010, 2011.
Okay.
It definitely like it's not that I can't affect it now. It's just like he's working, and then we don't always get to play and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but because I know you and Sleepy practiced before Battle of Five Gods because you had Axe in your pool, so is
me a lot. So I played like Dan's Pikachu, I played Sleepy's Pikachu, and then when I went to Five Gods, I played Flup's Pikachu.
Damien is wondering, what is your thoughts on K-On?
I've never seen it, ever. See, that's perfect example. I haven't even seen it. I haven't seen like anything most people see.
All right. So that's about it for the questions I have for this kind of non-esports segment.
Anime section.
The anime weeb section.
You can see, it's like forced upon me. I didn't even say anything about it.
It's just the Georgia Melee anime effect.
You go into chat and like all the Georgia Melee weebs come out and they're like, "Whoa, hiya," and then it's all over.
All right. Once again, thank you for joining me, DruggedFox, Sammy. You can follow him on Twitter at DruggedFox, and you can follow me at SD Ashkon. Thanks again for joining me on this interview, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had fun, dude.
All right.